Alrighty, this is going to be your FHL raise, which is going to bias the flexor hallucis longus, which is your big toe flexor. So you should feel this underneath the big toe, in the arch, and on the back side of the ankle and shin. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to set up on a bench, and we're going to make sure that we have our knee over our heel, and then we're going to take a kettlebell or dumbbell. Now, I recommend starting at least 35 pounds, unless you're coming off an injury. If you don't have enough weight, you're going to do this and feel almost nothing, in my opinion. Now, we're going to take the kettlebell, and it's a little bit of a balancing act because you don't want to actually hold the kettlebell too much, or else you're going to actually use your arms to assist the weight. If you have the kettlebell too far back, it feels like it's not actually resisting the heel going up and down. So you're kind of on the edge of your knee, but it's very easy for the kettlebell to slide off. So you're kind of doing this awkward balancing act, but it is worth it. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to create pressure through our toes, but specifically through our big toe. You can weight the metatarsals, so you can have weight here, but if those become a little bit unweighted during this exercise, that's fine. I want you to try to press through your toes. The biggest mistake people make is they simply just lift the heel like this. So they hold the weight and lift the heel, and they're not actually pressing and creating pressure through their toes on the way up and down. So they don't really feel anything. So they'll take a weight that's way too light, and they'll just go up and down, and they're not creating pressure. So I need you to try to leave a dent underneath your toes. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the knee under the heel. Another thing that I find that if I take my kneecap and I point it towards almost 1 o'clock, or if I think pointing my kneecap slightly in, I feel that adds a little bit more load to the big toe. If your knee is pointed more towards 11 o'clock, I don't feel it as much, so you can try to mess with that as well. Some people feel it straight on. So here we are, balancing act. And then remember, I want you to create pressure through your toes before you lift the heel. So find your metatarsals, start driving those into the ground, then start driving your toes into the ground very strongly, not aggressively, strongly. And then we are simply going to raise. And then when I raise, I don't want you to just get your heel off the ground. I want you to go into maximal plantar flexion, because that is going to put the toe flexors at length. So you can see I'm in big toe extension. I've got a nice strong arch. And then I'm going to continue to press my toes in the ground as I lower down like a ninja. So what a lot of people are going to do is they're going to go up and then just relax down. Go up, relax down. I want you to work on the way up and the way down. This is one of those exercises that is super simple, but you can do it well and get a lot of benefit, and you can do it poorly and almost feel next to nothing when it comes to strengthening the big toe. So I like to take my kneecap and point it slightly in of my big toe. I start pressing through my toes, then I max out plantar flexion, and then I keep pressing as I slowly lower over a 1 Mississippi or 2 Mississippi. And then that is going to be your FHL raise. And we can make this harder one of two ways. Number one is if I go into more dorsiflexion, that is going to demand more of the toe flexors, but it's going to be a little bit harder to balance the kettlebell. So I can go here, and I just gotta control the kettlebell a little bit more. Or what we can do is we can simply go up in weight. I think that the answer is to go up in weight, because this is 44 pounds right here and doesn't feel that overwhelming. So remember the key points. Drive and create pressure through the toes. So pressure through the toes, and then remember, don't lift the weight with your hands. Don't have the weight here, as if I have the weight here, it's not resisting that heel. And then I want you to make sure that you go slow, and that we max out plantar flexion, and then on the way down, don't relax, work on the way down. That is your FHL raise.